player I talked to this week said the same thing. Drew is dialed in. He wants this one. Kenny?
All right, thanks very much, Laura. We check out early scores and the games that impacted the Saints, the Green Bay win and the Washington win, eliminating New Orleans, Miami, and Buffalo. In overtime, Atlanta with the victory in Carolina. So the Falcons go to 10-5, but Tampa Bay can still win the division with 2 wins and an Atlanta loss next week. The Buccaneers have won the toss, and they elect to defer. So Roberto Aguayo gets things started. Drew Brees and the Saints will start from their 25-yard line.
And how well has this guy played this season? A lot of people talking about how long will Tom Brady play into his 40s. How about Drew Brees? He's put up some unbelievable numbers this season.
Brees in the loss to Tampa Bay 2 weeks ago. No touchdown passes, 3 picks, his lowest passer rating of the season.
Big bounce back game though last week against Arizona.
As the Saints put up 48 points. On 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line, this is Mark Ingram. And Ingram will gain 9 out to the 34, finally tackled by Brent Grimes as we check out the Saints offense.
Well, you mentioned they just played 13 days ago. Max Unger was not in that game. We'll see what that impact has in protection and the run game, and also Michael Thomas, one of those dynamic players that Drew Brees has on the outside.
Saints, the #1 ranked offense in the NFL, 423 yards per game, second highest scoring team in the league. Is Ingram again out across the 35-yard line for a New Orleans first down. Saints offense facing the 23rd ranked Buccaneers defensive unit.
But really improving from the beginning of the season. This defensive line played really well the last time these two teams met. But one of the guys that really jumps out on film the last couple of weeks is Keith Tandy. He had an opportunity to fill in for Chris Conte. He secured that job, playing very, very well.
Tandy with one of the 3 interceptions of Brees 13 days ago. John Kuhn, the fullback, split wide to the right. As Brees throws for the first time, it's Ingram out of the backfield. Quan Alexander chased him out of bounds. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 for the Saints.
And this offense, he is so comfortable, Drew Brees, along with Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael, the play callers here. They've got a great feel for each other. He's got control at the line of scrimmage, and that skill set that's around him. Now, the challenge for the Bucs defense is being able to play well again here just 13 days later against that skill set.
Tim Hightower in the backfield. Brees from the shotgun on 2nd and 6. He fires, and the catch is made for a first down by the tight end, the ex-Indianapolis Colt, Colby Fleener, for a gain of 9.
You hear a lot of offenses talk about rhythm, but I think maybe the Saints, when they're out of sync, it affects them more than any other offense in the NFL. 13 days ago when they played the Bucs, Tampa Bay's defense was able to get them out of rhythm. They started the game with 2 3-and-outs, had a turnover on their 3rd possession. A great start to the game here this week.
Right, Sean Payton telling us the first half of that game felt like a rainout. Saints offense hardly on the field in the first quarter as Ingram works his way to the Tampa Bay 46-yard line for a gain of 5.
And one of the things that Sean Payton always talks about is the number of plays and the amount of possessions that offense has during the course of the game. And that first time around when they played the Buccaneers, they did not have the number of plays that they like to have. They didn't have the opportunities with possessions that they like to have, and they were completely out of rhythm to start that game.
They already have a couple of first downs on this drive as Brees throws on 2nd and 5, getting a piece of it, Quan Alexander.
Tell you, that's tough duty right there when you get locked up against a wide receiver. Quan Alexander, he's your Mike linebacker, sitting right here in the middle, is going to look up the pass as it comes across, jumps there, comes underneath it, gets a little bit of a deflection. But I tell you, it was funny to talk to the Bucs defensive players, and even Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator. One of the guys they talked about was Willie Snead. They called him the grit guy, does all the dirty work for the Saints. A lot of respect for number 83.
Bunch formation to the left side on 3rd down and 5 as Brees steps up. Can't find anyone. back at midfield on the pressure from Gerald McCoy, who is heading to his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl.
And it's that combination of rush and coverage. So let's look at coverage on the back end first. Nice job by all the Buccaneer defenders. It looks like you've got the shot down the field, but the safety's got that covered. Now here comes your pressure up front. You add Levante David to the mix. You bring 5 in that situation.
Well, Thomas Morstead will punt it away. Adam Humphries is back deep for the Bucs. End-over-end kick. Fair catch is called for at the 11-yard line by Humphries. Now a first look at Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay offense when we return. Early first quarter in New Orleans. Saints have been eliminated earlier today from playoff contention. Buccaneers still alive for a wild card. They could also clinch the NFC South with 2 wins and a Falcons loss next week. Atlanta will host the Saints. Tampa Bay hoping to return home on this holiday weekend with a victory on the toss. It's Jacquizz Rodgers making the start for Doug Martin. As we mentioned, Martin inactive today, and Rodgers takes it out to the 24 for a gain of 13.
And Jameis Winston's one of the first things that we asked him about was the play last week against Dallas, the headbutt. And again, it's something that Dirk Cutter has been working with him all season long, understanding the difference between emotion and passion. He let his emotions get the best of him last week with that play and cost his team.
There's Rodgers once again. Takes it out to the 28. A gain of 4, Nick failing to tackle.
Another big change up front at right tackle. Leonard Wester, Lamar Dodson still out. Gosder Sherrillis inactive today. Charles Sims, the start there. We saw Jacquizz Rodgers actually be the starter. This has been a running back by committee offense all season long because of injuries at that position. All 4 guys have been productive.
2 tight ends in the game for Tampa Bay. 2nd down and 6 on their opening possession. This is Rodgers up the middle. And Rodgers takes it out to the 33-yard line. Donnell Ellerbe the tackle. It will be 3rd down and 1.
And facing Leonard Wester at right tackle will be Cameron Jordan. Pro Bowl votes came out this week. One of the guys that a lot of people felt got snubbed was Cameron Jordan, the defensive end for the New Orleans Saints, having a really nice season against the run and the pass.
3rd down and 1. The toss, it's Rodgers, and Rodgers has a 1st down out to the 35.
This is done really well on both sides of the ball. Good defense by the Saints. Watch the contain. You're going to have contain to the left. Nice play action right here with the little flip sweep coming back out. Looks like they've got Darryl Tapp out leverage, but he does a nice job of getting back. And then Jacquizz Rodgers cutting back inside, making the tough yards necessary for the 1st down.
Winston looking to throw. Intended for the tight end, Luke Stocker.
And this Saints defense has gotten better and better as the season has gone on. Dennis Allen has done a nice job. One of the areas you really see is the pressure from that front. Again, there it is right there. That's Cameron Jordan. Now they're trying to help out. With Leonard Wester over there, they're bringing in Caleb Beninoff and Kevin Panfield, moving the people around.
Right, Evan Smith down at left guard prior to that last play. Panfield over at right tackle. Wester was in previously, so the Buccaneers shuffling their offensive line on this opening possession. Rodgers takes it out to the 38. Ellerbe the stop.
Head coach Dirk Cutter very interested to see how his team responds this weekend. He felt that Dallas outplayed them in several key areas last Sunday night, an opportunity to win that game. They had a great 3rd quarter, take back the lead, but just can't finish it. Had a poor 4th quarter. Wants to see how his guys respond.
Bucs formation to the right for the Bucs. 3rd down and 7. Charles Sims in the backfield. They must get to the 45-yard line for a 1st down. Winston steps up, pulls it in, and he'll be wrapped up at the 40 by a swarming Saints defense, and now the Buccaneers will punt it away.
And that was what we talked about, the meaningless game, right? Not in the division. That's why I really, really like what the NFL has done. It's a heavy divisional schedule. Once you get to the month of December, And you can see the emotion right here. Joe Hawley's going to be involved in a lot of these type of plays when emotions start to run. Kind of notorious for hanging around the pile, stirring the pot.
Brian Anger will punt it away for the Bucs. Tommy Lee Lewis, the rookie, back deep for New Orleans. Punting from his 30-yard line. Good kick. And a fair catch is called for back at the 9 by Lewis. Midway through the first quarter in New Orleans, we are scoreless. How much would you pay for that?
I got it right in my hand right now. That's pretty good. Well done.
Very nice. Never know what you might bring home from New Orleans. Drew Brees and the Saints go back to work from their 9-yard line. Catch is made by the tight end John Phillips for a gain of 5.
I like the way the Saints started that opening possession with a little bit of a commitment to the run. And kind of got away from it. We talked about how challenging that first quarter was the last time they played. To come out, get into that running game. You don't want to get away from it too quickly. You don't want to allow Tampa Bay to force you out of that.
In that first meeting, only one touchdown combined in that game. This is Hightower. Scored a couple of touchdowns against his former team, the Arizona Cardinals, last week.
And it's a good running back by committee group here in New Orleans. Sean Payton always seems to kind of do that running back by committee style. So you got Tim Hightower, you got Mark Ingram, you got Travaris Cadet in the passing game, kind of that wild card type player that you put in that backfield. That's a tough group to roll out. So you'd think that they could have some more production with this run game, but sometimes it seems like they get away from it. You see them kind of get skewed out of that run-pass ratio.
Don't forget the fullback, John Kuhn.
John Kuhn, yeah, how can you forget John Kuhn?
How can you forget?
Oh, shame on me, Tony.
Saints shuffling players back onto the field. Play clock is at 2. Get the snap off in time. 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line, and that's one of the backs you were talking about, Cadet, for a gain of 5 out to the 24.
Really, really good receiver as a running back, and not just coming out of the backfield. He'll leave formation. He'll get outside, create matchups. That's a favorable matchup for the New Orleans Saints. If you can get Travaris Cadet on a linebacker in situations like that, that's someone that Drew Brees is going to be looking for.
Cadet to the sidelines. Hightower back in. 2nd down and 5. 3 receivers set. The handoff to Hightower. Tim Hightower out to the 28, about a yard shy of the marker as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thank you, Kenny. A little AFC update here with under a minute left in overtime and what was a wild game. Andrew Frank's 27-yard field goal is good, which means Buffalo officially eliminated and Miami clinches a playoff spot with the Broncos loss tomorrow. Kenny?
Thanks, Carissa. What an ending. Buffalo came back, took a lead with under 2 minutes remaining. Dolphins forced overtime, and Miami wins for the 10th time this season. Buffalo officially eliminated, and there is John Kuhn. You can hear it from the fans here in New Orleans. The long-time Green Bay Packer, 3-time Pro Bowler, Kuhn picks up a 1st down.
Every fullback has to have that ooh in the name, whether it's Kuhn or Moose.
So is that a Kuhn or a Moose can?
That's all John. That's all John right there. You talk about grit guys, you talk about glue guys, and John Kuhn is one of those types of players. Does all the dirty work, special teams, short yardage, goal line blocking.
Off the fake, Brees fires, and the catch is made out across midfield into Buccaneers territory. Brandon Cooks gains 20 and a Saints 1st down.
Nice play right here because you've got everything tiered. When they get to the opposite side, you're going to see everything tiered down. He's going to get into that middle section. You're going to have a deep receiver beyond him. Brandon Cooks finds that soft area in the intermediate spot in the defense.
From the Buccaneers' 49-yard line, Kuhn split out to the left. Empty backfield, penalty marker. As Brees fires, and it deflects off the hands of the tight end, Kobe Fleener. Our first penalty marker today, as we will check with the referee, Jerome Boger.
Offside. Defense, number 57. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Noah Spence.
Noah Spence really starting to play well. We talked about the amount of pressure that Tampa Bay's defensive line can generate, and can do it with just 4 guys. And one of the reasons is Noah Spence. He's grown. He's become a more solid run defender, but he was brought here as a speed rusher off the edge.
Rookie out of Eastern Kentucky. This is Hightower once again. We've not seen Mark Ingram on this drive. He's on the sidelines with his helmet on. It's Hightower to the Tampa Bay 43.
But it's something that Sean Payton has really done throughout his career. We referenced it back going all the way when he was offensive coordinator with the New York Giants, involved with them with Tiki Barber, and then bringing Ron Dane in and creating thunder and lightning up there. And his style is to be able to rotate those backs, keep them fresh. You want them playing their best football here in the month of December.
It's Hightower again. And during Payton's early years in New Orleans, it was the combination of Deuce McAllister and Reggie Bush. Hightower picks up a first down. Here comes Mark Ingram.
And it's not easy, being in and out of the lineup. Even as a fullback, as a blocking back, you like to get into that game. You like to get a feel, a rhythm of how your offensive line is playing against their defensive line. You tend to get a better feel as the game goes on. When you're in and out of that lineup, it can be challenging at times.
Breeze had trouble with the snap, able to recover. More flags. Pass was intended for Fleener. Chris Conti defending.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. Spotted a foul. Automatic. First down.
There it is, Chris Conti. 13-yard penalty. 1st and 10 for the Saints from the Tampa Bay 27. Saints send in an extra blocker, number 78, Landon Turner, along with 2 tight ends. On first down, it's Ingram. And he gets wrapped up immediately. No gain on the play by Robert Ayers Jr. So Ingram back to the sidelines, replaced by Hightower.
You see the yards per carry right there. And because of running back by committee, you're not going to get the touches necessary. Mark Ingram's never had a 1,000-yard rushing season. He could do it if you have more chances. He's a tough physical running back. You can see over 5 yards per carry this season.
And he's getting close, just 135 yards away. Saints haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since McAllister in 2006. As Kobe Fleener makes the catch for a Saints first down to the Buccaneers 6-yard line.
When you play the New Orleans Saints, you have to be able to defend this route, either up the seams or up the numbers, and it's just Kobe Fleener getting around the linebacker, looping over the top, and Drew Brees fits it into that small window. Keith Tandy just a little bit late getting there to help out.
Saints are tremendous in the red zone. They lead the league, 38 red zone touchdowns this season. 3 receivers set, 11th play of the drive.
Hey, kill! Come on, me! Ready! We're ready, what's up?
First and goal from the 6, it's Ingram, and he is in for a Saints touchdown.
Nice play design by the Saints right here, because you have to respect the jet sweep that's coming. You've got jet sweep action, so that's going to force your defense. When that jet sweep comes this way, you've got to expand out here to protect it, and you get back up inside. A real nice play design.
Heisman Trophy winner back in 2009. Remember, Ingram upset last week when he was taken out of the game. Hightower would then score a touchdown from close range.
He did all the dirty work. He got it all the way down there. He gave it to Tim Hightower. Mark Ingram wasn't too happy with that.
But 6 days later, it's Ingram into the end zone. 7-0 Saints. Saints strike first, an 11-play, 91-yard drive. Drew Brees, 4 for 4 on the drive, 51 yards. Ingram with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, there's that rhythm we were talking about with this offense. When they are rolling, they are hard to stop.
Josh Huff is back deep for the Bucs. Has a touchdown on a kickoff return earlier this season for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he'll take this out from a couple of yards deep. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15-yard line. Well, Tampa Bay, as we mentioned at the start, still alive for both the wild card and the division. If the Buccaneers win today's game, and if they defeat Carolina at home next week, and the Falcons lose at home to New Orleans, Dirk Cutter's Bucs would be division champs.
Yeah, coming into this weekend, just needed to be +1 in wins over the last 2 weeks versus Atlanta to get that title for the division.
Tampa Bay with 8 wins at the moment. Minnesota, Green Bay, Washington all with 8. From the 14-yard line on first down, Winston over the middle, it's Rodgers. And he's tackled by Paul Kruger after a gain of 3.
And one of the big points of emphasis for the Saints defense, not a lot of yards on first down. Force Jameis Winston in this Buccaneer offense to function behind the chains. So good coverage on the back end forces Jameis to check it down for a short gain.
Again, no Doug Martin today. Deactivated, coach's decision by Dirk Cutter. Winston throws on 2nd and 7. And picking up a first down is Russell Shepard. Out to the 32-yard line, gain of 15 as time winds down in his first quarter in New Orleans. Saints with a 91-yard drive. Mark Ingram into the end zone. New Orleans eliminated earlier today, but they lead 7-0. Jameis Winston asked about the playoff possibilities this week. He said, I love math, but I don't trust the percentages and the probabilities. I trust our heart, this team's heart, and what we need to do. Buccaneers have won 5 of their last 6 games. After the 3-5 start, this is Jacquizz Rodgers who takes it out to the 41-yard line, a yard shy of a first down.
That's one thing the Saints defense cannot allow. We talked about, negative plays, short yardage plays on first down. Force the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to play from behind down and distance. Dennis Allen and his group out there can't allow these 2nd and 2 situations.
Rodgers in the backfield, 3 receivers set. On 2nd and 2, this is Rodgers, and he spins. It's going to be just short. Ellerby the stop.
The way this game has started, it will be interesting to see if Jameis Winston can stay patient. One of the things he said is, I have to play well to keep number 9 off the field. Well, number 9 is playing pretty good right here to start this game. So can Dirk Cutter and Jameis Winston stay patient, stay within the game plan that they put in place, and not start to chase things?
Leonard Wester back in as an extra blocker. 2 tight ends. Pulled down at 1. It is Rodgers. And he will not get there. Cameron Jordan busting through to make the tackle.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to run at Cameron Jordan in that situation. Also, that's just good defense. You got Craig Robertson, your linebackers coming up, cleaning up for you.
Darius Byrd back deep for the Saints. Anger punting for the 2nd time. Byrd will let it go. And it stays out of the end zone. Josh Robinson getting downfield, downs it at the 3. On the Saints' last possession, Reeves hits Kobe Fleener down at the Buccaneers 6, and then it was Mark Ingram taking it in New Orleans driving 91 yards on 11 plays. Buccaneers have run only 12 plays to this point. And now the Saints must go 96 yards. They started their own 4. Tim Molino is in at left guard. 2 tight ends. And Ingram is the back. Off the play fake. Breeze throws, and it deflects away from Willie Snead. Keith Tandy defending for the Bucs.
Yeah, nice job by Keith Tandy recognizing big play action right here, trying to open up that middle of the field behind the linebacker level. But you've also got the safety squeezing down. Watch Keith Tandy come in, number 37. Willie Snead needs to make the catch, has it deflect off.
Second down, it's Ingram. Not much. Out across the 5. Gains about 1.5 yards. 3rd and long upcoming for the Saints.
This is an aggressive offense by nature. You see sometimes defenses that will talk about, having pressure and blitzes built into their DNA. Well, this offense is kind of that same style on their side of the ball. Very aggressive with their play calling, even backed up in situations like this.
On 3rd down and 9, and a nice play made by Brent Grimes as he stepped in front of Brandon Cooks.
The Saints tried to quick snap the Bucs, but they did not get him. And watch Brent Grimes make this play. This is well done. Trusting what you see, he undercuts it. Really should have made the interception right there. Would have been a tough layout interception, but that would have been a huge play for the Bucs.
We've talked about John Kuhn. Kuhn and Brent Grimes, teammates at Shippensburg University in Pennsylvania. Looking from his own end zone, Morstead. Humphries takes it at midfield. There is a flag. Humphries into Saints territory.
See if Jameis Winston and his offense can take advantage of some good complementary football right here. Special teams backs up New Orleans with a good punt coverage, and then their defense hold forces a short field for this offense.
Ineligible downfield during the kick. Kicking team, number 54. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. Tampa Bay keeps the ball. 1st down. Timeout.
Nate Stupar, the guilty Saint. Nice play by Brent Grimes. Great field position for the Tampa Bay Bucs, who trail 7-0 from the New Orleans 39-yard line. Empty backfield for Tampa Bay as Winston throws, and it is Mike Evans who makes the catch for a 1st down at the Saints 22. His first catch today, gain of 17.
Yeah, you're trying to become a playoff team. If you are a playoff team and you're that caliber, then you have to take advantage of this field position and get points.
Hurry up offense as Winston's pass deflects away from the tight end, Cameron Brate.
Well, the Saints defenders are going to know exactly who Jameis Winston likes to go to. We saw Mike Evans up the seam on the last play. Now it's Cameron Brate's turn. They've developed a nice chemistry. They've got a good feel. They do some extra work together. Probably the first person to develop that chemistry with Jameis Winston, maybe even a little bit more than what Mike Evans and Jameis Winston have developed.
Roman Harper got a hand on it. The 11-year vet. 2nd and 10. On the toss, it's Charles Sims, and he is tackled back at the 26-yard line by Garris Bird. Loss of 4 on the play.
As this defense has improved through the course of the season, one of the things that Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, said was I needed to get to know my personnel and what their skills were. And one of the big guys was Garris Bird. He's not a guy you want back in that too deep safety shell. He needs to be up near the line of scrimmage, playing more of a robber type linebacker at that safety spot.
3rd down and 14. Bucs must get to the 12 for a 1st down. And there is a flag. Pass intended for Adam Humphries.
Pass interference. Defense, number 38. Spiral to foul. Automatic first down.
Working against Von Bell, and you can see the little hook right there as he breaks inside.
Yeah, so it's 48 Von Bell.
Don't know what Coach Payton would be challenging.
If the ball is deflected, perhaps.
Yeah.
That would rule out pass interference.
You know, it looks like Cam Jordan was up there.
New Orleans is challenging the rule on the field of pass interference because the ball was previously tipped by a defender.
Let's see.
It looked like Cam Jordan was coming down and didn't quite get his hand on that.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed as pass interference. The pass was not tipped by a defender. New Orleans is charged its first challenge and a team timeout.
Well, you can see why Sean Payton thought it was tipped. Watch as it comes off Jameis Winston's hand. It's fluttering a little bit right there, so you know you think you've got the tip there. Not an aesthetically pleasing throw, Kenny, not that tight spiral.
No, but it was not tipped. So the call on the field of pass interference stands. Saints lose a challenge, lose a timeout. It's a first down for the Bucs from the Saints' 13-yard line. Sims motions into the backfield. Three receivers set. Winston on first down throws, and is Cameron Brate, and he takes it in for a Bucs touchdown.
What a season Cameron Brate is having. Makes some tough catches too. They're always in traffic. They're always challenged. He's usually taking a hit right after the catch. You know, one of those seams. A lot of trust from quarterback to tight end. And how about Jameis Winston? One of the things he likes most is his 12 personnel, which is one running back, two tight ends. He likes his tight ends. He said he's always has, going all the way back to high school.
And they have great chemistry. Brate's 8th touchdown of the season. And he ties a franchise record for tight ends as Aguayo connects on the extra point. Jimmy Giles, 8 tight ends for the Bucs back in '85. Tied at 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds to New Orleans. A look at the NFC playoff picture. Giants at 10-5. Green Bay actually 8-7 with the victory today over Minnesota. And the Buccaneers still alive for a wild card or the division crown.
There's more conspiracy on those Packers. First they tried to delay the Viking charter into Green Bay yesterday, and now maybe they're changing our graphics.
Right.
Giving themselves more wins.
Exactly. 8-7 with the win over the Minnesota Vikings. Tied at 7 here in New Orleans. Jameis Winston with the touchdown pass, his 26th of the season. We'll look at Drew Brees and his numbers today. He was 4 for 4 during the New Orleans scoring drive.
Yeah, they've come out and they've played much better at the start of the game. When they played 13 days ago, their first quarter was a disaster for the Saints. They had 6 plays, 11 yards. So obviously coming out and getting into that rhythm that this offense thrives on.
Ready? You ready?
First and 10, 25-yard line at Hightower for a gain of 4 out to the 29.
And when you're in rhythm, it allows you to kind of stay with that running game a little bit more. I think the way the game was tilting the last time these two teams played, you kind of all of a sudden start sliding away from that run game. It becomes a heavy pass. They kind of played into the hands of that Tampa Bay defensive front. If you're becoming one-dimensional, then this front can put some pressure on the quarterback.
Second down at 6. Pass is caught out at the 35-yard line by Willie Snead.
You watch Drew Brees in pregame warm-up, and you'll see him out on the field, kind of working through progression, climbing up into the pocket, simulating this type of play that he faces during the course of the game.
First down out to the 47.
Good job by Bradley McDougal, because this looked like it was going to be a big play down the Saints sideline. And number 30 is right here. He's going to be the person that kind of sees this whole thing developing. Looked like he got caught inside for a second, but that's good hustle to get back outside. And get your leverage. Force the ball carrier back into the middle of the field where the pursuit from your teammates is.
From the 47-yard line, it's Hightower. And he's across midfield into Buccaneers territory.
Tim Hightower a little bit frustrated he wasn't able to keep his balance on that run.
Second down and 6. Breeze to the near side. It's the rookie out of Ohio State, Michael Thomas. What a season he's had, leading all NFL rookies in receptions. Thomas with a gain of 5.
And we talked about how good this skill set is on the outside for New Orleans. And last week when they played Arizona, Patrick Peterson will travel with who they think is the biggest threat. He traveled with Michael Thomas the majority of the game. Brandon Cooks just had a monster day last week.
There's Cooks. Open prior to the snap. Penalty markers thrown on 3rd and 1. And the catch is made by Cooks for a Saints first down at the Tampa Bay 31-yard line.
Yeah, Mike Smith will be frustrated with his guys up front, especially when you've got Drew Brees there. Vernon Hargreaves down, cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But anything inside 5 yards, you've got to be alerted to that hard count when you've got somebody like Drew Brees.
Defense, that penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
Vernon Hargreaves, rookie out of Florida. Buccaneers first round pick.
If he get tangled up on the tackle, like right before he rotated. Right there, it kind of kicked out a little bit. That right heel kicked out.
Hargreaves exits. Buccaneers already without some key players. Doug Martin deactivated, coach's decision. Both DeMar Dodson and Roger Sherilis are out. William Golston would not have played due to an elbow injury, but we also pass along our condolences. His father passed away this week.
Yeah, they have had a tough season, Tampa Bay has. Close family members the entire season, back into the offseason as well. It's happened multiple times for the Bucs. Been a tough year.
Valtron Verter replaces Hargreaves. New set of downs for the Saints in a 7-7 game. From the Buccaneers 31. Breeze near side and nearly picked off by Levante David.
Ooh, boy. That is not something you usually see from Drew Brees. He was late getting over there. It was a well-covered receiver. Now, the receiver moves to go do something else to try and free himself from coverage. And, boy, Mark Ingram, as he stepped away, That was almost a real easy pick six for Levante David.
Now 2nd and 10 from the Tampa Bay 31. This is Ingram. And Ingram is inside the 25 to the 24-yard line of the Buccaneers, a gain of 7.
That's why I think that New Orleans just needs to stay more balanced with this run game. Some of their losses this season, they've got really skewed. Now I know sometimes in those situations you fall behind where you've got, you know, an end of half and an end of game 2-minute situation, but sometimes they really get out of balance, and they've got a very productive running game.
Third down and 3. Breeze throws, and it's incomplete. Cooks unable to make the catch.
They got to be able to convert those third downs. We'll see what Coach Pate's thinking. It looks like the field goal team is trotting out on the field, working that slot right there. It's a little bit low, but Brandon Cook's got to make that play. It's right there. Actually, it's not low at all. It's right there. Easy catch.
So here's Will Lutz out to attempt a 42-yard field goal. Pressure will snap it. Morstead will place it down at the left hash. Lutz from 42, just inside the left upright. The rookie out of Georgia State is now connected on 9 straight. This was close. Saints back on top. They lead by 3. 10-play, 51-yard drive for the Saints. Lutz with a 42-yard field goal. New Orleans back on top.
Yeah, and look at that group right there. Everybody in there kind of sorting out what's happening, what Tampa Bay is doing. Now remember, there's a lot of familiarity with Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with New Orleans. He was the head coach at Atlanta, so he knows this offense well. He knows Drew Brees well.
Huff takes a knee. Buccaneers will start from their 25-yard line. Some early game headlines. The Packers stay hot. Green Bay now at 9-6. They eliminate the Vikings from playoff contention. Atlanta with their 10th win, and they will clinch the division if Tampa Bay loses today. The Houston Texans take control with the Titans' loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Marcus Mariota knocked out of the game.
Yeah, and that's a shame for Titans fans because they were playing well. It's a big win last week in Kansas City at Arrowhead. We saw Tennessee earlier this year. They put a bunch of points up on Green Bay. They were out 21-0 there, so a tough loss for Titan fans.
Buccaneers start from the 25-yard line as Winston swings it out. Sims stayed on his feet. And he takes it all the way out to the 34 for a gain of 9.
You would have thought his knee was down with contact at that spot. There's a knee down with contact. He should be down. They've got it marked correctly now.
They have respotted it back at the 27, so it's a gain of 2, not 9. As Sims' knee was down, 2nd and 8. Winston on 2nd down. To the outside, it's Evans. And Mike Evans has a first down out to the 39-yard line. 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season for Evans to start his career.
Yeah, gets his first Pro Bowl, and I'll tell you what, everybody knows where Jameis Winston is going with critical throws, especially 3rd down, and yet they are unable to stop this combination. Mike Evans just went over. He's sitting down.
Well, Evans to the sideline, 1st and 10, 38-yard line for the Bucs. Off the fake to Sims. Winston sets. Can't find anyone. Down he goes. The initial pressure from Edibali. And then it's Sheldon Rankins, the first-round pick out of Louisville, loss of 10.
I like the play design. Looks like it's going to be a bootleg with a throw down the field. They want to go back with the screen. Paul Kruger kind of smells this thing out, figures it out, and he's going to hang back and disrupt the throw. Jameis Winston is going to look to throw back to the screen, but he can't. Paul Kruger standing right there.
Well, Edibali and Rankin share the sack. Second down and 20 for the Bucs. Winston finds Huff. And Huff stays on his feet. And then is tackled at the 39-yard line. Second catch is a Buccaneer. Huff picks up 11.
Now, this is good effort by Josh Huff. Again, it's the pursuit inside out from the Saints defense. They've got him right there, but watch the balances. He's able to keep his feet, move to the outside. Yeah, we talked about how important it was for this Saints defense to get those negative plays early in the downs. They had him in a second and long situation, so a good play right there by the Bucs, get it back to a 3rd and 8.
Following the sack and the loss of 10 yards. 3rd down and 9. As Winston fires downfield. Too far, intended for Huff.
Good coverage by B.W. Webb on this. It's at the point of the trips right here. Going to press it to the outside and then just get vertical.
Mike Evans was back on the field, but Winston was looking for Josh Huff deep. Punting from his 30-yard line. And a fair catch. There is a flag. Fair catch at the 12 by Tommy Lee Lewis.
With the hat off, so that means a player went out of bounds. Now, did he get back onto the field of play quickly enough, or did he use the sideline to his advantage?
Unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team, number 29. During the kick, the player went out of bounds and continued to run out of bounds without trying to get back in bounds. 15 yards from the dead ball spot. First down.
There he is, Ryan Smith, the rookie out of North Carolina Central.
You can, if you're forced out of bounds, you've got to work to get back in quickly, and you can see right there, he actually bends back outside, out of bounds. So, I don't think you're going to win that argument.
Smith says, who, me?
There's no way.
So brings in the Saints back to work. From their 27-yard line, leading the Buccaneers by 3. In case you joined us late, Saints have been officially eliminated from postseason contention. Buccaneers still alive for wild card or the division. Ingram out across the 35-yard line, a gain of 9. Atlanta Falcons would clinch the NFC South with a Saints win over the Buccaneers today. Tampa Bay would still remain alive even if they lose this game. Right now it's the Giants with 10 wins, the Packers with 9, the 2 wild card slots. 8 wins for the Redskins and the Bucs. And a first down for Ingram. Out to the 40, under 3 minutes remaining, second quarter.
I tell you, he's just so physical at the point of the tackle. You can just hear the pads and the helmets clicking. Good patience right here, and then it just drops right down on the Quan Alexander. That's a good linebacker he's running through the tackle.
Ready!
From the 40, Breeze fires, and Cooks, the intended receiver, Grimes with the hit. Cooks unable to hang on.
Let's see what happens here. We saw the drop on the 3rd down in the last series. Does he have another one right here? It looks like it. That's 2 in a row. One would have given him a first down, and that one right there would have given him a big play.
Coming off that huge game against Arizona, 7 receptions, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns for Cooks. Could not reel that one in. Second down and 10. 2 tight ends set. Flea flicker, Ingram, back to Breeze. Breeze throws, and it's Snead who makes the catch in Tampa Bay territory for a New Orleans first down, a gain of 14.
Going to hand it off and then get it pitched back. Now you've got the big shot down the field, but you've also got your out. Your out's going to be right there to Willie Snead. Good job working the sideline. Well done.
So Snead picks up the first down as we hit the 2-minute warning from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, with the Saints leading the Bucs by 3. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Back in New Orleans, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Open. Saints with a 10-7 lead on the move. First and 10 from the Bucs 46. Off the fake to Ingram. Breeze throws near side. It's Cooks for another Saints first down. Ball came out at the end of the play. Gain of 14 for Brandon Cooks.
A little bit of pressure here off the edge. Robert Ayers. Jari Evans coming out. It's a tough block when you pull it, kind of give him that run look. Laura mentioned how focused.
The rule on the field was that the pass was caught and fumbled out of bounds. The play clock should have started. Please reset the play clock to 1:54 and start on my whistle.
So Brandon Cooks does not get out of bounds clean, actually fumbles the ball out of bounds. So reset the time, get that figured out. You can see it drop right there, but you can just see Drew Brees really is dialed in here today. I mean, he is all business when he breaks that huddle coming to the line of scrimmage.
From the 32 on first down, Brees throws over the middle. It's complete to Michael Thomas for other Saints first down. 15-yard pass play.
And when you bring pressure, you open certain parts of the field. You can see the cross right there. Michael Thomas working the in route. You took a safety out of the middle of the field to add to your pass rush, and that's right where the ball goes.
Saints inside the red zone. A minute 15 remaining. They have 2 timeouts. From the Bucs 17. Brees stumbles and he's down. Back at the 18-yard line. And the Saints will use their second timeout. Loss of a yard on the sack.
Starting to climb up the pocket. Just a little stumble right there. Again, this offense just so much of a better rhythm here in the first half compared to the way they started that first half last time these two teams played. Sean Payton doing a nice job staying with the run game because of the way they've started this half. He's been able to stay with that. You get into that game last time, you only had the 6 plays in the first quarter. There's a tendency here to kind of all of a sudden get away from that run game because they've been efficient. They've gotten into that rhythm. They're able to lean on Mark Ingram and Tim Hightower a little bit more in the run game.
Saints have run 37 plays in the first half to this point. Second down and 11 as Brees swings it out. This is Ingram, and he will lose yardage. Chris Conti, first Buck in on the tackle, a loss of 2, so the Saints have gone backwards on their last 2 plays.
And it's a credit to this Buccaneer defense. They're getting back, and they've got their eyes on the quarterback. They're seeing everything. They understand the concept. So at pre-snap, they're going to look at the personnel who's on the field, the formation as they break the huddle. They're going to understand concepts that come out of those formation and personnel groups. Keep their eyes on Drew Brees. Don't look to the receiver that comes into your area.
We're down in 13. Brees under pressure. And Brees dives ahead. Rolled down at the 16-yard line.
Again, this is the luxury of this defense. Watch, they don't have to add anybody to the rush. It's just you're down 4. And you're able to get pressure. You're able to disrupt Drew Brees right there. That means you have 7 back in coverage. And we watched We had this Tampa Bay team against Seattle. We watched this defensive line of Tampa Bay just take that game over.
A look at what's coming up at halftime.
We've got a gift for you coming up on the Visa Halftime as Andrew Luck and Derek Carr have a Christmas Eve showdown in Oakland. The Browns receive a big gift with their first win of the year. And the Dolphins, well, they get an overtime Christmas miracle in Buffalo. It's wrapped up for you on the Visa Halftime.
Gonna need more snow, Kurt.
You know we're in L.A., right?
Oh, you're right.
Visa halftime report coming up. The Atlanta Falcons hoping for a gift from the New Orleans Saints. A Saints victory would give the Falcons the division crown. This is a 34-yard attempt. Let's hit from 42 earlier. It is good as the first half comes to an end. So the Saints found out just prior to kickoff they were eliminated from playoff contention. But a good first half for New Orleans as they lead the Bucs 13-7 as we send you back to Los Angeles. No snow in LA. Time now for the Visa halftime report. 13-7 Saints first half moments brought to you by Febreze. First and goal from the 6. It's Ingram. He is in for a Saints touchdown. Winston on first down throws and is Cameron right, and he takes it in for a Bucs touchdown. First half moments brought to you by Febreze. A look at the first half numbers. Saints outgaining the Buccaneers 208-97. Buccaneers had the football for just over 11 minutes.
Yeah, kind of a role reversal of what happened the first time around. Saints 39 plays, Tampa Bay only 21, and we talked about how important it is for the Saints to get into a rhythm when you have those 39 plays. That's going to benefit you. Now the challenge for Tampa Bay here to start this half, they've got to get into that rhythm. They've got to start making some plays.
Buccaneers deferred at the start of the game, so they will get the ball first here in the second half. Josh Huff is back deep. Tampa Bay can still win the division. Live for the NFC South crowd.
There's an ugly
and a wild card spot. Huff will finally effective. Ryan pick it up at the 4th, and he is down. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers must play with a sense of urgency, Darryl, here in the second half. Still alive, but only 7 points in the first half. As we mentioned, they had the ball for just over 11 minutes.
Well, we talked about getting into a rhythm offensively. It's a terrible way to start the half. I mean, you flub the kickoff, and now you're backed up in your own end. And this is a group that, that's got some challenges. Doug Martin is inactive today. They've got some shakeups in the offensive line. How does that impact the running game, the play-action passing game? They're a much better play-action pass team than they are a drop-back pass team. So they've got to get their running game going.
They start from their 4-yard line. Nothing doing on first down as Rodgers is forced back.
And something as simple as it's a missed kick by New Orleans. That should have been Tampa Bay's benefit. And they fumble around with it. They get terrible starting position. You've just given the Saints defense all that momentum to start this second half.
As you mentioned, a shuffled offensive line without Dotson and Sherrills. No Doug Martin today. Second down and 11. Winston throwing from his end zone. It is picked off by Jarvis Bird. Bird is inside the 20 to the 14-yard line of the Bucs.
Well, we talked about the challenge in the offensive line. So what you do there is you max protect, which means you're only going to have 2 guys out in the route. So obviously, the advantage goes to the defense. One of those routes is just a deep route. It's just a go on the outside. B.W. Webb plays it well. He's got safety help from Jarvis Bird. That's a poor decision by Jameis Winston. We set the table for how important this opening series was, and they've had 2 terrible plays to start the second half. The kickoff return that leaves them starting their possession inside the 5, and then the decision right there by Jameis Winston to try and fit that throw into double coverage.
First interception of the season, 24th of Bird's career. from the Bucs 14. It's Ingram. His second touchdown today.
I tell you what, you couldn't have started this half any worse if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Watch the patience of Mark Ingram on this, allows everybody to get set up. Senio Calamete gets on the outside, gets the critical block. There's a huge hole there. Now this is, we talk about the Saints needing to commit to the run. They're not a team that is going to scare anybody with their run game. Right now, they are playing very well. Tampa Bay has got to shut down this Saints running game.
Lutz, the extra point. Jarris Byrd with the interception, leading to the Mark Ingram touchdown. Saints by 13. Saints have opened up a 13-point lead. Look at that kickoff to start the second half moments ago.
Yeah, it started off ugly, but it became a thing of beauty as Josh Huff had trouble handling. Now, last time these two teams played, he also had one go off his face mask and go out of bounds inside the 1-yard line. That led to a Saints safety and them gaining momentum back again there.
And this time it is not Huff back deep, but Ryan Smith. He takes a knee. Touchback as we head downstairs. Check in with Laura.
Well, wound up by a very prophetic conversation with Sean Payton at halftime, who said the biggest thing he wanted to do defensively was come out, disrupt Jameis Winston, and turn the ball over. He said, all I'm thinking on this drive is a takeaway. Offensively, he said, what the Bucs defense does is make you be patient. And he said, I'm okay with that. We came in committed to the run. I like how we're running. I like how our line is protecting. For the Bucs, biggest thing defensively we have to do, get more pressure on Breeze, get our hands on him, get him down.
All right, thanks, Laura. So Winston and the Bucs go back to work from the 25-yard line, trailing by 13. Play action on first down, and then Winston hits Jaquiz Rogers out of the backfield, and he's out to the 37 for a gain of 12 and a Tampa Bay first down.
Well, we talked at the top of this broadcast that Dirk Carter wanted to see how his team was going to respond after Dallas. I want to see how they're going to respond right now. There's an opportunity for this team to become a playoff team this season. These are the types of games that you're supposed to win. These are the types of games that you have to cross that threshold in your development if you do want to become a playoff team.
6-point loss in Dallas Sunday night. This is Rodgers. Short week. Dirk Carter said he got back into his office as a flag is thrown at 6:03 in the morning, Monday in Tampa. Then the travel on Friday for the Saturday game in New Orleans.
It is tough, but
holding. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty adds to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Tyler Davison.
Yeah, trying to keep the line from getting to the next level. But New Orleans was in Arizona. They got back, obviously not Monday morning, but late Sunday night. Everybody's kind of working against things like that. Dirk Cutter's biggest challenge was finding, that balance between, the preparation and the recovery for his guys, because it was a late arrival time on Monday, and it was a short week coming into the Christmas Eve day game.
On the other side of it, the Bucs have been a much better road team than home team this season. They have 5 wins on the road. This is Rodgers across midfield. Down to the Saints 45. Gain of 9 for Jaquiz Rogers.
And I think that this will be one of the biggest things for us to watch here in the second half, that Jameis Winston does not panic. You stay to your plan. You continue to run the football. They've run the ball effectively here. They just need more plays. They've got to eliminate the little mistakes.
Green steal.
Second down and 1. And it does not look like Rodgers picked up the first. Good penetration by Paul Kruger.
Watch Jameis Winston. He's going to try and seal the backside because you've got a blitz coming in this way right here. So Jameis is going to hand off, and then he's going to come over and try and seal the backside to allow the running back to get up inside. I tell you what, that's his fine line, passion and emotion. He absolutely loves the game of football, and that passion is going to help him out tremendously through his career, and he's just got to find a way to balance that emotion now.
Third down and 1. 2 tight ends set. Off the play fake. Winston throws, and he finds the tight end, Alan Cross. Thought Winston might try and run for the first down. He hits cross, and the Bucs move the chains.
That's why I think he's so dangerous. You know, he wants to get to his third down guy, Mike Evans. And, you know, on third down, you're going to get 2 guys on you when you're that big of a target. And I agree, Kenny, right there, he could have pulled that down and probably ran for the first down. But he's dangerous when he gets outside of the pocket on the move, throwing the football.
6th reception of the season for Cross, rookie out of Memphis. 1st and 10 from the Saints 40. Winston under pressure, and then he throws, and the catch is made by Evans at the 32-yard line for a gain of 8. You talk about passion and emotion. How about what Winston did Sunday night in Dallas?
He's just trying to take care of his guy, Doug Martin, right there working, and he steps in right there, and he gives a headbutt to the linebacker, Justin Durant, and those are the things that he's got to work on, because that was lost points. You've got the potential for a touchdown, and you cost your team 15 yards and you're forced to kick a field goal. Points were at a premium on Sunday night, and they lost 4 there.
Here's Rodgers, and he'll pick up a first down to the Saints 21. And when we met with Winston yesterday, it's our 3rd time we've sat down with him this season. He's so enthusiastic about the game of football. And that was the first question you asked Jameis. Hey, what was the deal with the headbutt? And he said, you know what, I was trying to set the tone. I was in the moment, but I probably need to find a better way to do it.
Exactly. And I'd like to be able to rein a guy back as opposed to push a guy forward. So I think they're in a fortunate position with Dirk Cutter trying to just kind of rein that emotion back as opposed to trying to create something that's not really there in you as a person.
From the 21, it's Sims.
What a great move.
And Charles Sims has another Tampa Bay Buccaneers first down inside the Saints 10-yard line.
Well, here's the response by this Buccaneers offense. It's just methodical down the field. There's no panic. They're not trying to do anything. Look at Mike Evans out front. You know, we talk about him as a wide receiver. What a nice job securing the edge for Charles Sims.
So again, no Doug Martin today. Coach's decision by Dirk Cutter, deactivating Martin. So we've seen Quiz Rodgers, who was 59 yards on the ground. Nice 12-yard pickup there by Sims. 1st and goal from the Saints 9. Off the fake toss to Alan Cross. Winston able to get rid of it. He finds Sims, and there is a flag.
Nice job by Cam Jordan doing his job, his responsibility on that play. He's got contained on the outside.
Hands to the face. Defense, number 48. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
Von Bell, who is flagged. The Saints safety. Ball will be spotted inside the 5-yard line.
It was funny. Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, said about Jameis Winston, you know, he's not breakaway fast. He's just real nimble. Watch 48, Von Bell, hands to the face right there on the release. And you can see it right there. Cam Jordan played perfectly, but Jameis was still able to complete that throw.
1st and goal from the 4-yard line. It is Rodgers. Initially met by Sheldon Rankins. Quiz Rodgers inside the 4-yard line of the Saints, who lead by 13. New Orleans capitalized on the Winston interception earlier in this 3rd quarter, but now a nice drive by the Bucs. They've gone 72 yards, 9 plays.
But they have to finish. They have to score a touchdown. One of the things this offense needs to improve at is its touchdown percentage in the red zone.
10th play of the drive on 2nd and goal. It is Rodgers, and Rodgers is in. Touchdown. Tampa Bay Buccaneers to Quiz Rodgers.
Boy, he has run tough today. We talked about Mark Ingram and how physical he's been. And Jaquiz Rodgers, kind of that little scat back. You know, you do some different things with him, but watch the physicality right here. They're trying to strip that ball away from him. Great ball security, fights his way into the end zone.
A 10-play, 75-yard drive. So the Buccaneers answer right back after the turnover and the Saints touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the season for Rodgers, the former Atlanta Falcon and Chicago Bear. Roberto Aguayo, the rookie out of Florida State. Aguayo adds the extra point. So the Buccaneers back to within 6. The race for the NFC South title. Falcons at 10-5 following their win over Carolina Earlier today, Falcons would clinch the division if the Saints win this game. But if the Buccaneers win, they would remain alive for both the wild card spot and the division title. It would come down to the divisional games next week. Buccaneers can win the division with 2 wins and a loss by Atlanta next week at home to New Orleans. Lewis takes a knee, so the Saints will start at their 25-yard line. Well, your former team, Dallas Cowboys, have clinched home field throughout the postseason. Green Bay Packers 9-6 following their win today over the Vikings. Falcons, as we said, clinched the division with a Tampa Bay loss here in New Orleans today. And the Giants can clinch a playoff berth with a Buccaneers loss. Lions in action tomorrow in Dallas. Bucs for a gain of 9.
Well, we wanted to see what Tampa Bay's response was going to be after that turnover and touchdown by the Saints. An excellent drive to get back to 2014. Now let's see what New Orleans does. Let's see what the defense of Tampa Bay does. And one of the things we hear from coaches all season long has been the struggle to play complementary football, having all 3 phases work in conjunction. Let's see what this Tampa Bay defense does here on this drive.
Lions Cowboys Monday night in Dallas. 2nd down and 1.
Ready! Ready!
This is Ingram. Ingram picks up the 1st down. We alluded to this earlier, Darryl. Last week, out in Arizona, a little upset, taken out of the game, and then Hightower would score the touchdown.
Yeah, tough run down inside the 5, and you could see Mark Ingram kind of waved the substitution off. Tim Hightower gets the touchdown. But today, when they have gotten down into the red zone, Mark Ingram has gotten those snaps. So, I understand the frustration last week. You work hard, you want an opportunity, a shot at that touchdown. But the most important thing is to win.
On the slant, it's Thomas, and Michael Thomas breaks 3. He's inside the 20 and then gets tripped up. Thomas gains 46 yards.
Good hustle by Quan Alexander down the field. This is just a simple slant route to the inside. It's a missed tackle right there at the point of the catch. And then Michael Thomas is in the open field. Look at your hustle by your linebacker down the field. Well done, Quan Alexander. It's funny, he visits with Mike Smith, defensive coordinator. As Vernon Hargraves down again. We saw him down earlier in the first half, but came back into the lineup. He's down again, but Quan Alexander, he went to Mike Smith. He goes, I want to know this defense, top to bottom. And Mike Smith said, this is a big commitment. It's going to take time. He comes in twice a week to sit down with Coach Smith and really learn the intricacies of this defense.
There's the former Falcons head coach.
Get that, you're diving to make a tackle and your teammate Darryl Smith is coming in pursuit, and you get that knee to the back of the head. And so many times it's just this, it's just part of the game. It's a knee, it's a foot, it's another body part. It's not always helmet to helmet contact. So
Hargraves went out earlier, and now he will be helped off the field once again, following the season-long 46-yard reception by Michael Thomas. Saints back inside the red zone as Hargraves exits. Good bloodlines. Thomas, the nephew of former Tampa Bay Buc, Keyshawn Johnson. Alcaron brother replaces Hargraves. 1st and 10 from the 17. It's Ingram. Grimes, first Buc to make contact after Ingram gained 6.
the explosive plays are just, they're so devastating to a defense to give up those big chunk yard plays, and especially when it's just a short throw at the start, and it's simply a missed tackle that allows the explosive play to put your opposition in scoring position.
Second down and 4. 3 receivers set. Ingram in the backfield. And Breeze has his pass batted down. Gerald McCoy getting a hand on it.
Nice job there. The ball does come out quickly. Gerald McCoy is second guy in. Working the outside, you know you're not going to get there. Your eyes on the quarterback, and we talk about it from the linebacker and the secondary level, watching, you know, the platform of Drew Brees and where he wants to throw that ball, but also as your pass rushers, seeing that quarterback so you know when to elevate and get your arms up in the throwing lane.
Third down and 4. Cadet in the backfield. Brees over the middle. Touchdown. Tavares Cadet.
I tell you what, he is tough to cover. We've seen him break formation and get outside and draw coverage this time, and he's actually working against a nickelback. He's going to be working against Javian Elliott right here. I think that's who's going to kind of man up to him as he comes out of formation, and he's waiting for him to come out of the outside on a flat route, and Tavares Cadet just breaks it right inside. That was easy.
Third touchdown of the season for Cadet. Saints will go for 2. They are 1 for 2 this season. Ingram has their only 2-point conversion.
Kill!
And Ingram has his second 2-point conversion of the season. Saints lead by 14. Breeze to Cadet. Holiday weekend in New Orleans, and the Saints lead the Buccaneers now 28-14, a 6-play, 75-yard drive. Keep playing that 46-yard catch and run by Michael Thomas. So Jameis Winston and the Bucs, who cannot be eliminated today with a loss, but they look to bounce back now, trailing by 2 touchdowns as Ryan Smith takes an 8. A look at the AFC playoff picture. New England at 13-2 following their win over the Jets. Chiefs and Dolphins in the 2 wild card spots, both with 10 wins.
And really the big change there is Tennessee Titans, a team that knocked off Kansas City and Arrowhead last week, loses Marcus Mariota today. So a team that I thought last week, when you saw what they did, would be a team you did not want to see in that opening round of the playoffs as a wild card, now probably in trouble of missing the playoffs.
A couple of big games tomorrow in the AFC. Steelers host the Ravens, Chiefs, and the Broncos. There is a flag as Brate takes it out to the 34-yard line, gain of 9, but we'll check with Jerome Boger.
Yeah, he's slow getting up.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
It's on Ali Marpet. What a season Brate's had. He has a touchdown today. As we take a look at what took place on the hit from Darryl Tapp.
Hopefully that's just the wind knocked out of you, kind of a hit into that side where you don't have any padding for protection.
Third season out of Harvard. You talk about the one that got away. He was actually on the Saints practice squad for 1 week last season before returning to Tampa Bay.
And he's in a lot of pain as he's leaving the field right now. So we've seen Mike Evans nicked up. Now we've got Cameron Brate slow leaving the field. So, you know, Jameis Winston's 2 most reliable guys on the outside, not at 100% today, and we'll have to keep an eye on Cameron Brate and his return.
And then you add Doug Martin.
Yeah, right.
Uniform.
Exactly.
You know, we talked to Roman Harper, the Saints veteran safety, the other day, and he said a couple of weeks ago when they played the Bucs, he said he was very impressed with Brate. He said to him, "You're good. What year are you in?" And this is Brandon Myers, who takes the hit from Von Bell. Myers, the veteran tight end, picks up 9.
Yeah, and there's one of the guys that Dennis Allen is getting used to how he plays as a safety, and you want him down in the area of the ball more. Great job of recognizing where that ball's going and comes over and delivers the big hit, drops his man in coverage, and there for the big collision.
Second down and 11. Empty backfield for Tampa Bay. Winston, quick release, catch is made by Sims. And Charles Sims is tackled at the 30-yard line, gain of 6. So Buccaneers, who trail by 14, facing a third down and 5.
A good hustle by Darryl Tapp on the outside. He's your edge rusher, and as he comes in, he gets cut because they need the ball to get out quick, get those hands down. He pops right up and gets in pursuit.
Third down and 5 for Tampa Bay. Play is blown dead.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Ali Marpet, the right guard.
And he's had a couple here on this one. Looking at your right guard spot. Just that little wiggle right there.
Forces the Buccaneers back. Third down and 10. High snap. Winston sets and throws. And it's Myers who picks up a first down, quieting the crowd. Brandon Myers gaining 12 in the absence of Cameron Brate.
And has had a couple of big catches with Cameron Brate on the sideline. Again, this is where it's critical for Jameis to balance that emotion and that passion for the game.
On the toss, it's Sims. Sims out to the 42. Gain of 5 with 4 minutes remaining, third quarter. And the Buccaneers trailing by 14 down to Laura.
That's one of those hits on Cameron Brate that what doesn't hurt right now, having trouble catching his breath, but also just his hand on that lower back as well as his knee, sitting down right now, kind of shaking his head as athletic trainers are talking to him, but doesn't look like he's coming in right now in a lot of pain, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Laura. Second down and 6. Winston's pass incomplete. He was looking for the tight end Myers once again.
Brandon Myers have to do the yeoman's work at that tight end spot now. It's a good job getting that separation, just thrown a little bit low, couldn't pull it off the turf.
Third down and 6. Bucs need the 47-yard line for a first down. Play clock is at 3. Winston complete. It's Josh Huff, and he picks up a first down. Remember Huff with the miscue on the opening kickoff to the second half, but Huff back in, and he gains 12.
There's going to be a quick screen out to the left, so your wide receiver's getting in that blocking position. You've got Sterling Moore free to the quarterback, so here's your blocking coming out, and you roll Josh Huff around the outside. One guy to beat right here. It's just Von Bell right there. I think that was Jameis. You get your wide receiver one-on-one with the safety, you expect more out of that play than what Josh Huff got.
Empty backfield, Evans slot to the left, Sims wide to the right. And it is Sims who makes the catch. He's inside the 40 to the 35, 34-yard line for another Buccaneers first down, a gain of 13 as we head for a game break in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
All right, Seattle's first possession of the second half. Russell Wilson up high to Jermaine Kearse, first touchdown of the season. Right now, they're trying to come back. 14-10, Arizona on top. Kenny Moose, Laura.
And it's the same scenario out there, right, Kenny? You've got Seattle kind of trying to hold on to the number 2 seed in the NFC playoff spot, playing against Arizona, who's out of the playoffs. And again, those divisional games in the month of December, they will always have meaning because of the rivalry that exists within the division. Now, this would be another shakeup because Evan Smith has come into the left guard so we can kick Kevin Pamphile out to the right tackle.
Tampa Bay medical staff tending to Evan Smith. Late third quarter here in New Orleans. Buccaneers, as we've been talking about throughout the afternoon, Darryl, with 2 wins and an Atlanta loss next week, can win the NFC South, but they have fallen behind by 2 touchdowns here in New Orleans.
But Jameis Winston has really played well. And there was some talk about Sunday night, big stage in Dallas, Sunday night football. How would they respond? I thought they responded well. And obviously the one incident that everyone wants to talk about is the headbutt, and Jameis still working on that emotion and passion. He's done a nice job of balancing that here today. He's put his team in positions to come back and do some things. So we've watched him grow. We talked to him last year. We've talked to him several times this year. The maturity in 1 year, I've been very, very impressed with. And I really think that what he did is he took advantage of his time at the Pro Bowl. It wasn't so much a celebration for him. It was an opportunity to get better, being around guys like Russell Wilson and all these great quarterbacks that he looks up to pick their brain to see what they do to become great quarterbacks in the NFL.
From the 34 on first down, Winston throws, and it is Evans who makes the catch. There is a flag. Evans in for a touchdown.
See which way this one's going to go. All the way inside for Mike
Pass
Evans.
interference. Defense, number 24. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
They're fighting, and there's a little bit of shoving by Mike Evans. You know, that could go either way. That could be a no call. It looks like Mike Evans right there pushes to create separation to actually force Sterling Moore down to the ground. I'm thinking OPI when that happens the first time.
Which is offensive pass interference, but the flag goes against the Saints. So Mike Evans with his 11th touchdown reception on the season. And for Jameis Winston, he ties a franchise record, 27 touchdown passes this year for Winston. Josh Freeman doing it back in 2012. Aguayo connects just inside the right upright. So the Buccaneers back to within 7 as Winston hits Evans for the Tampa Bay score. On this holiday weekend in New Orleans, our crew getting together on the field prior to the game, and we thank all of the men and women who travel with us throughout the season away from their families this weekend.
Exactly. Everybody trying to get home as fast as they can tomorrow to celebrate Christmas Day with their families. Thanks to everybody for your sacrifice here to stay with us down here in New Orleans for the game today. Taking time away from your family at Christmas.
They're with us all season, and many of them for the last decade. Ryan Unverzat, Dan Conair, Jeff Wise, and Mark Lawford in the video department. Saw Laura open in that photo. She's still down in the field. Laura.
I'm still down on the field. I wanted to continue the conversation you guys were having about Quan Alexander, not just what he's meant learning this defense, but just the communication that Mike Smith has talked about all season long, wanting to get it better, not just on the field, but off the field. I've been sitting here on the Bucs sideline watching the communication with the defense. There hasn't been much of it except for Quan. That's really picked up, but not just with the linebackers. He's going up to the secondary, to the linemen. He was the first one to talk to Mike Evans when he came off the field. You can really see what the heart of the defense that he's become, that the guy said.
All right, thanks, Laura. Breeze on first down. The ball pops away from Fleener. The question is, will it be ruled a reception?
The ruling on the field is a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Tampa Bay.
So it is ruled a catch and a fumble.
And we're going to watch this at real time. Kobe Fleener coming out, presses out. Now the element of time. Does he have the element of time? I think that's
the previous play is on the review.
Now all turnovers are reviewed, so Jerome Boger will take a look. So while Jerome heads over to the monitor, we will step out for 30 seconds. Last play is under review. And we will bring in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles after the catch by Fleener, ruled a reception and a fumble. Mike, what do you see?
Well, I just don't think he has it long enough. Let's remember the three elements here. So you have to get control, then you have to get 2 feet, and then you have to clearly establish yourself as a runner, which talks about turning upfield, which talks about extra steps. You know, to me, this ball pops out just shortly after he hits the ground and before he turns upfield. And if it's me,
I'd make it incomplete. It'll be Noah's ball, second down and 10 at the 25-yard line.
All right, thanks, Mike. It is ruled
game clock to 1 minute
an
and 49
incomplete
seconds.
pass. So the Saints will maintain possession.
And that's one of the big reasons we have replay here, to make sure you don't have a call like that. It incorrectly goes in favor of another team. Good job getting that cleaned up.
Jerome Boger, we worked Super Bowl 47 here in the Dome. Ravens and the 49ers. More flags.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Levante Lambert.
Well, it's one of the things that Drew Brees can use to his advantage here. It's going to be hard for him to be able to do that, you know, while they're at Tampa Bay. But he's very good at hard count. He's very good at creating neutral zone infractions.
Second and 5 following the penalty. As Brees throws out to the 40-yard line. It's the tight end Phillips. For Saints first down, a gain of 10.
Now, we've talked about Mark Ingram as a runner, as a receiver, now as a pass blocker, and he got stuck with the defensive tackle. That gives you the time to get the ball to John Phillips down the field. But watch, it's number 75. It's not a 50 number. It's not a 20 number. That's a big guy turned loose to the running back. Good job by Mark Ingram in protection.
Alabama against Auburn. 15 remaining in the quarter as we head back to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee.
Well, this has been a special season for the Raiders, but it could be taking a horrible turn here. Quarterback Derek Carr sacked by Trent Cole, lays on the ground for a while, grabs his ankle. He had to be helped off the field, couldn't put any weight on it. Matt McGloin's now in at backup quarterback. That's the only sack the Raiders have given up all day, and it could be a costly one. Kenny?
Wow.
Marcus Mariota earlier today, now Derek Carr in the late game. So two teams whose destinies could really change here with the help of their quarterback.
Second and 10 for Brees on the Saints. As Brees fires downfield, and the catch is made inside the 20-yard line by Brandon Cooks. 43-yard connection.
And I just don't know how this happens, because when we talked to Keith Tandy, he told us specifically what each receiver was about. 13, Mike Thomas is the physical guy at the catch. Brandon Cooks, number 10, is your speed guy. He's going to do your vertical routes. Now remember, we've seen Vernon Hargreaves down a couple of times here today. You wonder if he's 100% in that situation, trying to keep up with Brandon Cooks.
That will do it for the third quarter. 4 touchdowns, 29 points scored in the third. Buccaneers have pulled to within 7, but the Saints are back inside the red zone. More points scored in the third quarter today than in the entire first meeting between these teams 13 days ago.
It's been a much different game here in New Orleans inside.
Not a surprise.
No, not at all. Not at all. This fits. I really believe that this is a different team in here. I don't care what anybody says.
Play action. Brees to the near side. And
Look at the athleticism of that guy.
Who is that guy?
My goodness, that's tremendous.
What position does he play?
He needs to be on the outside more. Thrown behind him. Look at the rotation. Look at those flexible hips. Goes to the ground, completes the process.
So John Kuhn gains 7. Down to the Buccaneers 11. Second down and 3. After the 8-yard line, it is Ingram. Levante David, the tackle, stopped just shy of a first down. 4th straight trip into the red zone for the New Orleans Saints. 5th in the game. They've scored 3 touchdowns.
Huge play right here. 3rd and short. And we know how important it is, you know, making sure you're scoring touchdowns, not kicking field goals. A big snap for this Tampa Bay defense right here.
Extra blocker, 68 Tim Lolito. Fullback Kuhn in as well. On 3rd and 1, it's Ingram. And Lavonte David able to bring him down. There's a flag at the end of the play as Ingram picks up a Saints first down. But we'll check with the referee, Jerome Boger.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, offense, number 22. 15-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
So it's a face mask call against Ingram.
Let's see as he goes. He throws the stiff arm. You can see the head turn a little bit. You can get it on there and keep it there, but you can see the turn a little bit at the very, very beginning of that, and that's when the flag came out.
So the penalty forces the Saints back 15 yards to the 23. Third down and 16 for New Orleans. Early 4th quarter with the Saints leading by 7. Brees a pump fake on 3rd down. Now he throws.
What a great job by Drew Brees in this situation, because Tampa Bay blitzes, they've got him. And he just does, watch him climb, he just slides and climbs. They bring both linebackers up inside, you've got 6 coming, just shuffles, slides. That's just a great feel in the pocket.
So Michael Thomas able to pick up the first down just inside our yellow first down line, which is unofficial. First and goal from the Tampa Bay 7. Taking it down to the 3 is Ingram. Ruled down before the ball came loose. Knee down.
Everything down.
Second and goal from the Tampa Bay 3. Brees to the end zone. Thomas in a battle with Hargraves. Incomplete.
Good job letting him play on the outside. This is real physical by both players in a jump ball scenario. The 2 guys at the bottom of your screen trying to press up. He plays the depth. Drew Brees tries to get it down in front to allow Michael Thomas to go up and get it. Good no call by the referees.
Now 3rd and goal from the 3. Brees on the slant, bounces away from Thomas. Again, it's Hargraves defending.
And this is the thing about Keith Tandy. He trusts what he's learned during the course of his preparation week. And he jumps this. He jumped one last time they played and had an interception. Look at him this time. Look at that anticipation and trusting what he saw during his preparation in that scenario. Well done by Keith Tandy.
So here is Lutz, 2 for 2 today. About to attempt a chip shot, 21-yarder from the left hash. Well, the Saints lead is now 10. They have scored on their last 5 possessions. Happy holidays to Mike Pereira and his crew at the bunker in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know I appreciate all their help during the course of the season. And Mike, again, has had an outstanding year. Has he been wrong yet this year? Has he had one?
Mike ever wrong?
I don't remember it. I really don't remember.
And many of his troops in that photo have officiated at the high school and college level. They come in on Sundays, or in this case Saturday, to keep an eye on every game. You know, I thought Mike can watch 8 or 9 games at once, but it's probably not possible even for Mike.
Now we know. Now we know why he's correct all the time.
That's right.
Got a lot of elves out there helping.
Bucs will start at the 25-yard line. Well, next Sunday, she's inappropriate and in charge. TV's most outrageous new comedy is coming to Fox. Caitlin Olsen is their guardian, but she's no angel. The Mick premieres next Sunday after football on Fox. 10-point game here in New Orleans. Jameis Winston on the last 2 drives, 9 of 10 since the interception early in the third quarter.
Yeah, and just that one bad play you saw, 16 for 21, but I know he wants that one back. You know, backed up, and his part of the field throws the interception down the sideline that the Saints turned into a quick touchdown.
From the 25-yard line on first down, Winston throws, and it's complete to Russell Shepard. And Shepard takes it all the way out to the 49-yard line. In his 4th season out of LSU, Shepard gains 24.
Man, how about this? We got a lot of guys stepping up. Mike Evans is banged up today. Cameron Braid still on the sideline. Those are Jameis Winston's 2 go-to guys. So nice job by Russell Shepard right there on that play.
Evans, top of your screen, split wide to the left. From the 49-yard line on first down, Winston throws too far for Myers, who was in for Cameron Brate. And for more on Brate, down to Laura Oatman. Laura.
He just left the sideline, go into the locker room for more tests on the back. He was having such a tough time. Athletic trainer's been working on him this whole time he's been out here. Wasn't able to sit on his own or stand on his own. And don't forget also, Mike Evans, we saw him come out earlier. He went back in, but he's also bandaged up on his left foot.
That's Brate moments ago. Thanks, Laura. Evans with 4 catches today and a touchdown. Brate only 1 catch, and it was a TD back in the second quarter. Second down and 10. Winston, quick release, it's Evans. And Mike Evans is tackled at the 42, a yard shy of a Buccaneers first down.
Good job by Charles Sims on that play. They were in an illegal formation. He got up onto the line to make it a legal formation and then had a nice block to let Mike Evans get free after the catch.
5 catches on 6 attempts from Winston today. Evans, the most targets in the entire league among any receiver this season. Third down and 1. Winston throws, and it's Evans. Nice catch. Sterling Moore went to try and make the play, and Evans gained 6 on a first down.
And it's here on third down. I mean, you know where Jameis Winston wants to go, and that's probably a little bit of the frustration by Sterling Moore right there is, oh my gosh, I know they're going there. How can I not stop it?
New set of downs for the Bucs. From the Saints 36. Winston throws wide open out of Humphries. And Humphries has another Tampa Bay first down to the Saints 24, a 12-yard pickup.
We've been talking about responses all day, and again, time after time, when New Orleans has gone down and got points, Jameis Winston has rallied his offense to come down the field and try and match.
And the Saints have scored, Darryl, on their last 5 possessions. Buccaneers looking to answer as Winston is wrapped up, and down he goes. Cameron Jordan with the Saints sack.
Just felt it a tick too late. But the most important thing is make sure you hold on to that football. Don't lose that football. So he starts to climb. He feels it breaking down on that side. But we have to compliment Kevin Pamphile. He's a left guard. He's been kicked out there to right tackle, working against one of the tougher defensive ends in the NFL when you talk about run-pass rush.
Buccaneers empty the backfield, second down and 17. And a timeout is taken as the officials will get together. Now the play clock was down to 1 when the play was blown dead.
There was a question on the correct down. It is in fact second down. Please reset the play clock for 10 seconds.
All right, so the officials wanted to make sure the down marker was correct. It is 2nd down and 17. They reset the play clock to 10. And now they wind the clock. Second down and 17. Winston steps up. And Winston is tackled at the 28-yard line. He gains 3. Sheldon Rankins on the stop.
Good job by the Saints in coverage on this one. Now they're only rushing 3 defenders. You can see Sheldon Rankins, 98, kind of drops out playing kind of that spy. He's the one that makes the tackle.
8.5 to play. 10-point game.
Now that wasn't a face mask like we saw on Mark Ingram because there was no turn of the helmet there. It was just the stiff arm to the face mask.
Bucs must get to the 14 for a first down. And Winston throws, it's picked off. Second of the game for Bird. There is a flag. Darius Bird, the 3-time Pro Bowl safety, with his 2nd interception of the half and the season.
Now letting Jairus Byrd read the defense and trust your instincts again. They're trying to get it
After
on the post.
interception, during the return, illegal block in the back. Defense number 24, 10-yard penalty. New Orleans keeping the ball. First down.
So Jairus Byrd with his 2nd interception of Jameis Winston today. Turnovers have been an issue. Only Phillip Rivers among quarterbacks with more turnovers than Winston this season.
Again, getting to know your personnel. Jairus Byrd not really playing the deep middle of the field, but playing that robber position. Trust what you see. He breaks on that ball before Russell Shepard makes his break on the inside move. So allowing him to play down. There's 31 in your background. Watch him read Jameis Winston's eyes. He's moving right now. And defensive coordinator Dennis Allen has allowed him that freedom to trust his instincts and be that robber type guy on the back end.
This is Hightower. So explain robber. We've heard you use the term a couple of times. How would you explain it to the viewers?
It's a person that's at the linebacker level that doesn't really have an assignment, or kind of in the center of the field that doesn't really have a true assignment, and you're allowed to trust and jump on routes. You trust your preparation. It's very effective when teams are an underneath throwing team where one of your linebackers occasionally gets freed up and doesn't have a true responsibility on a certain defensive set and can trust his instincts, what he sees, and go make a play.
And Bird made the play, his 2nd interception today. Saints with a 10-point lead and the football midway through the 4th quarter. Saints have scored on their last 5 possessions. This is Thomas. He's made some big plays today. And Michael Thomas picks up a first down to the 35.
How did that guy last in the 2nd round in the draft? I tell you what, he is something else. Big physical guy, tough after the catch. So this organization has a knack for finding wide receivers. Whether Brandon Cooks in the 1st round, Michael Thomas in the 2nd round, you find guys like Willie Snead, bring him in and let him grow and mature.
And you think back to a guy like Marcus Colston a little over a decade ago. It's Thomas again. Thomas, as you alluded to earlier, missed that first game against the Bucs with a foot injury 2 weeks ago. But a big day today as the Saints go over 400 yards on the day. Drew Brees now at 299, including 6 receptions by Thomas. Now 81. The Saints rookie record is 88. Reggie Bush is also approaching 1,000 yards in his rookie season out of Ohio State. 2nd down and 5. Tim Hightower. Monte David the tackle. Under 6 minutes to play. Here in the 4th. As we said, holiday wishes to the guys manning the cameras for us. Mike Ratus, David Hochmeyer, Winnie Bernfeld, Mike Smoley, bringing you the great pictures from New Orleans. Tim Dunn, John Warner, the audio booth, our technical producer, Sid Drexler, technical director, Darren Lagrani. Third down and 5 from the 39. And this play is blown dead.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Breeze tried to call timeout. It was too late. One of the few dubious categories that Breeze is on top. Saints and Breeze actually lead the league in delay of game penalties this season, now with 9.
Searching for that perfect play at the line of scrimmage. But it's a challenge when you have somebody with so much knowledge and so much experience. It's hard to show him something he hasn't seen at some point during his career.
Third down and 10. They just get the snap away this time. As Breeze goes deep for Brandon Cooks, and it's broken up. Hargraves gets a hand on it.
Well played by Vernon Hargraves here. They're at the bottom of the screen. Just going to be a simple go route right there. And again, we've seen Vernon kind of in and out of the lineup during the course of the game today. He's mad that he didn't get the pick.
So here's Thomas Morstead. This is his first punt since early in the second quarter. Only his third of the game, end over end. Taken at the 25-yard line by Humphreys.
That's a great job by Adam Humphreys getting up on that low kick.
So terrific field position for Tampa Bay. A 19-yard return by Humphreys.
Monday, we debate all of today's NFL action.
Skip, what do you want for Christmas?
Dak in the Super Bowl, not Romo. Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
Good starting field position for the Tampa Bay Bucs. With only 4.5 to play, down by 10. From their 43-yard line, Winston back to work. Over the middle, complete to Charles Sims. And Sims takes it into Saints territory to the New Orleans 48. Bucs quickly back up to the line.
Charles Sims getting up the field. That's good hustle down the field by Sheldon Rankins. Defensive tackle with a big hit on Charles Sims.
Quiz Rogers replaces Sims. Buccaneers have all 3 timeouts. They need 2 scores. Winston throws, and it's broken up. Intended for Russell Shepard. B.W. Webb getting a piece of it.
B.W. Webb, you can see him at the 40-yard line right there. As he steps up, it's a good job. The adjustment, getting underneath that route to Russell Shepard. Well played by B.W. Webb.
Saints have been impressed with Webb, their coaching staff. He was in camp with Tennessee, did not start the season with New Orleans. Now 3rd down and 2. Winston on 3rd down, throws, and the catch is made by Evans for a Buccaneers first down to the Saints 36. Gain of 12 for Mike Evans. Buccaneers defense finally stopped the Saints on their last possession after they scored on 5 consecutive possessions. And now the Bucs on the move. And Winston throws it away. There is a flag.
He had both edge guys converging on him in the pocket. Both guys are going to get around the edge right here and meet right back at Jameis Winston.
There are 2 fouls on the play. 2 fouls on the play.
One has got to be holding on Nick Fairley. You saw him in the center of the screen coming through the middle, and he was tackled.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the offense. Holding, offense number 74. That penalty is declined. Intentional grounding, offense number 3. 10-yard penalty, Loss of down, second down.
I don't know about the intentional grounding. The hold, I'm good with. I mean, that's we saw that in the middle of the screen. So you'll watch as Nick Fairley breaks free right there, coming through the inside. There's Ali Marpet going to take him to the ground. This is more just like a miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver. The wide receiver breaks to the middle of the field, and Jameis Winston thinks he's going to break out towards the pylon. So I don't think that was thrown intentionally to avoid that sack. It was just a miscommunication. Quarterback, wide receiver.
So it is now second down and 21. Winston steps up. And Winston will go down at the 39-yard line. Clock continues to run.
Now, how many times do we see Jameis not want to run the ball, but actually kind of dump that down? He had two options as he was moving with the football in his hand, but elected to keep it.
Gain of 8 on the play. Down to 3 minutes remaining. 10-point Saints lead. Winston stumbled, takes the shotgun snap, now throws, and it's caught by Shepard. How about that?
This is. I mean, he's out. It's a good thing he's going back. Oh, the athleticism, and again, he knows he's taking that. He's staring right at Cameron Jordan as he's coming free.
Inside the red zone from the Saints 17. 2:15 remaining as Winston throws, and pass intended for the tight end Myers with Brate still out. Myers unable to turn around.
Yeah, once he breaks on the corner, so you got to push back up vertical right now here. Now break to the corner, get that head around a little bit quicker. You might have been able to track that ball and have an attempt to lay out for it.
Myers actually played for Dennis Allen in Oakland when Allen was head coach, now the Saints defensive coordinator.
Now remember, Cameron Brate's in the locker room. This is where he does all his damage down here in the red zone.
Second down and 10. Buccaneers without Brate, without Doug Martin. As Winston fires, end zone, again looking for Myers, with Von Bell defending.
Through the course of the season, we've seen Cameron Brate in this position. That's a heck of a release right off the line. He's got him beat. A little tug right there by Von Bell.
Now the Buccaneers need 2 scores, so they are in field goal range. If they are unable to convert here,
they're kind of right at that time that we talk about. You want to, if it's a 2-possession game, you got to get that first one, you know, right before the 2-minute warning.
They have all 3 timeouts. Winston on third down off the hand of Humphreys. So now the Buccaneers will send out the field goal unit prior to the 2-minute warning.
Split all the way here to the outside. You're going to have some clear routes on the interior too, and then trying to get that in route. That's just bad location by Jameis Winston on that throw.
So here is Aguayo. 35-yard attempt. He has connected on 7 straight. From the right hash. Make it 8 in a row for Roberto Aguayo as we hit the 2-minute warning. 7-point game in New Orleans. It's the Saints 31 and the Bucs 24. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. 2 minutes remaining. 7-point game. Buccaneers have all 3 of their timeouts. So what would you do here?
Kick it deep into the end zone, and they're going to surprise onside.
And it's Brandon Cooks who comes up with it.
And you've got your hands team out there in that situation. You saw the formational lineup by New Orleans. To me, you kick it out of the end zone. You've got your 3 timeouts up. You challenge your defense to make that stand.
Because now 1 first down and the Saints are in field goal range. Buccaneers have 3 timeouts. 1 more look. Said you would have kicked it deep.
Would have kicked it deep. Would have kicked it deep. You're a little bit behind, but we're talking seconds. A lot of teams, when it's a two-possession game, want to get that first, that first score, 2:08, 2:10, somewhere in there. That way you've got your 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. So they were a little bit off there, but not enough to go onside kick in that situation.
3 timeouts for the Bucs. There's Ingram, and he gains 8 on first down. So now Tampa Bay will use a timeout. We will return to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in 30 seconds. Jameis Winston can only watch. Minute 55 remaining.
And you wonder how much success the Saints have had running the football today weighed into that decision by Dirk Cutter to do the onside kick. Was he concerned that they'd be able to stop New Orleans?
Ingram again. And Tampa Bay will use timeout number 2. A high-scoring third quarter. This is Ingram, his second touchdown of the day.
Well, the big thing, though, some turnovers, too, that attributed to that. But Jaquiz Rogers right there, just a great effort, trying to match up Travaris Cadet. And the offensive, defensive, or no call touchdown to Mike Evans.
Saints eliminated earlier today. Buccaneers would need a win today and next week, and a Falcons loss to clinch the division. They stay alive with a loss today. And now Breeze will use a timeout. He tried to draw the Buccaneers offside. So one thing we know, Darryl, the Dallas Cowboys will be the #1 seed throughout the NFC playoffs, and so much talk about will they rest some players over their last 2 games. Jason Garrett yesterday alluded to the fact that they will go with their regulars at least at the start of the next 2 games. And with what we've seen, a couple of quarterback injuries today, will that change the Cowboys' thinking?
I don't think it will. I think that Jason Garrett had a plan coming into this weekend of how he was going to play this out. Remember, this is a 1-week-at-a-time league, and it's based on your next game. So Jason's going to approach the Detroit game on Monday night in a certain way. He'll approach Philadelphia in Week 17 a different way. I don't think the injury to Marcus Mariota or Derek Carr is going to change his plan and his way of thinking. He'll continue to do what he had planned on doing regardless of what transpired today.
A huge play here as Ingram picks up a first down. And now the Saints will be able to run out the clock. Bucs use their final timeout down to 1:44.
They've just run the ball very effectively today, and it's been hard physical runs. I mean, you've got Levante David right in the hole. It's a nice little move by Mark Ingram, but he's run physically today. Tim Hightower has run physically today. Travaris Cadet has been excellent in the pass game out of the backfield. So again, that running back position here in New Orleans, maybe the big reason that we saw so much success on the outside with the passing game.
So what will the Saints' victory mean? Well, it will clinch the NFC South for the Falcons. It will clinch a playoff spot for the New York Giants. Bonus coverage coming up. Cardinals, Seahawks as Breeze takes a knee. Great job by our entire crew today, led by producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, our associate director Joe Williams, broadcast associate Paul Marlborough, Dave Corus crunching the numbers, along with Ricky Camps, our spotter Ben Ballman. Thanks to the guys in graphics, Blair Gretzky, Matt Banovic, and Ron McGuggins.
New father, Matt Banovic.
Yes, we have 2 new members of our crew. Susan Banovic and Cameron Williams. Congratulations to Matt Banovic, Joe Williams, and their families. And a shout out to the guys in our truck. Nick Marcinkowski, Ryan Kania, Paul Culler, Scott Adams, and Alan Andrasic, who drive our production trucks all over the country during the 17 weeks of the NFL season. So Bucs cannot stop the clock. They are still alive. Saints eliminated from postseason contention earlier, but this New Orleans win. Good news for the Giants. Good news for the Falcons. Again, bonus coverage coming up. Seahawks and Cardinals. Darryl, have a great day tomorrow. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
And happy Hanukkah to you, Kenny. You start this evening as well.
Right? As Sean Payton, Dirk Cutter get together. Saints win it 31-24 over the Buccaneers. We will return to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans after these messages.